All right, welcome to another Jags podcast. I have no clue which episode number this is.
100-something.
102, maybe. We'll say 102.
Sounds good to me.
Sitting here with Joey. We got Joey in here tonight. Joey, how's it going?
Dude, going good.
If you haven't yet followed us on Twitter, we're at Another Jags Pod, and we're on Instagram at Another Jags Pod as well. So you can get us there. You can also go to our YouTube channel where you can watch Joey and me live in person.
Which I think a lot of people like to do.
I think that we're the number one viewed podcast on YouTube.
For the Jags?
No.
Just period?
Yeah. No, period.
Wow, I think Joe Rogan's.
No, don't quote me on that.
Oh,
I think we're up there.
Number one.
But we are at halftime of the college football national championship game.
Which has been amazing.
It's been a good game.
Yeah.
It's LSU's 28-17. Obviously, when this podcast comes out, the game will be over. So this is your chance, Joey, to look like a predictor of the future and tell us how the game's going to end.
Was it?
Predictor of the future.
I was going to say something else, but I couldn't come up with the word. Hey, before the game started, I was going to say LSU by 3 and take the under. But at this point, man, it's looking like LSU's rolling like LSU, man. I mean, unstoppable.
Yeah, I got LSU winning 48-38, and I'm going to stick with that.
That would be the over.
That would definitely be the over. I, not a gambling man, but if I were, I would take the over.
Well, we're talking hypothetical.
Hypothetical, of course.
Exactly.
Because gambling is illegal in Florida.
Especially in college.
Right. But not in Costa Rica. It's not illegal in Costa Rica. But
Is that a MyBookie ad?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Not yet. All right. So we there's not a lot going on, and we're super lucky today because typically when we do these podcasts, the day we publish them, some breaking news of the Jaguars comes out.
Like almost always.
I mean, when Coughlin was fired was the next day.
Yeah.
When all these other things happened.
Like we could wait weeks, and then all right, we're gonna do one, and then bam, next
breaking
day.
news happens.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough to have some breaking news on today.
Yeah.
Was John DeFilippo is fired, is gone.
Which.
Oh, wait,
okay, whoa.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
let's use the correct verbiage.
Mutually parted ways, which actually may be more true, honestly.
Do you think that was it's not me, it's you type of thing with Filippo, or other way around? I mean, it seems like initially I was shocked. I was like,
yeah,
that's amazing. The Jaguars always make the opposite decision I think they're going to, and I still think they have at this point. But then when they said mutually parted ways, it almost seemed like Filippo came in and said, dude, I'm out.
And it almost seems like he has another job lined up.
Yeah, I agree.
It almost seems like one of these big name teams is losing their offensive coordinator to be a head coach. Filippo's already been contacted to be their next offensive coordinator.
You would think so.
And he was like, all right, peace, Jags.
The reason I was shocked, though, was because of the whole Foles connection. And obviously, I think we're going into next season with Foles and Minshew and them competing. And he had to have had a part in Minshew doing what he did this year. But then I looked up their stats afterwards. I was because I was kind of mad about it. Not good. I mean, you look at points per game, 26th in the league. You look at total QBR, 26th in the league. You look at offensive efficiency. There's a trend here, 26th in the league. And then you look at red zone percentage, and we break that trend with 31st in the league. So when a guy like that, if he does in fact quit,
you're okay with it?
I'm okay with it, except for the fact, dude, why would you quit? You're one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he was fired a year ago from his job in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's offensive coordinator is now getting head coaching job, and it's
it's a conundrum.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't big on DeFilippo ever. When we
you
signed
weren't.
him,
you were dead on with that. You said I don't think he's the right fit. He can't do the pass run mix well.
You can't balance it.
You can't balance. Exactly.
It's
you did call that.
Why can't you do 50-50? Why do you have to do 80% passes, 20% runs, and then the next week do 80% runs and 20% Why can't you do 50-50 like normal offensive coordinators?
It seems like he's schemed well, but game day management, horrible. I think he had to have schemed well, had to practice well, because Minshew's not going to go 6-6 as a 6th-round draft pick if he's not doing something right on the practice field.
But nothing ever was like, oh, that was a good game plan. It was like, oh, Minshew put the team on his back in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Every win.
I think that had to be somewhat due to preparation. I mean, maybe I'm putting too much into it.
I think if you were good at preparation, you would come out and score on your first drive every once in a while.
Yeah, they definitely didn't start
Or
fast
you would
ever.
come out in the second half and score.
Yeah.
Which they just repeatedly could not move the ball until the fourth quarter.
I think the bottom line with that is don't be upset about it.
I'm not. You're right. That's a good point. Any thoughts on who you think they bring in?
Well, apparently, like Jason Garrett's like a lock.
No, I doubt Jason Garrett.
I'm kidding.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Jason Garrett. I'm going to guess this, and obviously the news is going to come out tomorrow that we've signed Jason Garrett because I'm saying this.
That's why I said he's a lock.
Right, but I think Jason Garrett takes a year off from coaching and then takes a head coaching job next year somewhere. Maybe not pros, but maybe college.
Fair enough.
He's not the type of guy. He doesn't seem like to me the type of guy that has to coach.
Dude, he's a very positive guy and a heck of an offensive coordinator. I mean, under Jerry Jones, man, that'll put the reins on anybody.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get a shot somewhere else.
He will. I agree. He's not going to be the
try it
Jags. But so what are the options? I mean, we're like 3 weeks late on the decision, which is weird. I mean, our options are limited at this point unless like the Jags, unless it's the flip side of that, the Jags had somebody lined up. They got the okay from him, and that's why they kicked him, like kind of like pushed him out.
Maybe. I've seen Todd Monken. I've seen Jay Gruden. I've seen, like you said, Jason Garrett.
Yeah, I can see Gruden.
I just don't see that happening. I don't see Jay Gruden coming to Jacksonville. I don't see Garrett coming to Jacksonville. I don't really see Monken coming back to Jacksonville. He's already been here.
Yeah. Would you want him to?
Now.
I mean, I can see Jay Gruden. I mean, Jay Gruden seems like the type of guy that wouldn't want to take a year off. Like, okay, I'm not the head guy anymore, but I'll take something to keep busy.
But he's also the type of guy that would take a running backs coach job in Las Vegas with his brother.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, valid point.
Yeah, it's like I think if those are your options, like be an OC at Jacksonville, where you're probably going to get fired at the end of the year with the whole coaching staff, or go with your brother who probably has a couple years left.
All right, so I'll change my stance. Everybody be mad about it because we're not getting anybody even close as good as Filippo. I mean,
disagree with that. I don't think Filippo's good at all.
I didn't say he was
I think
good.
He's terrible.
I said we're going to get somebody worse.
You know what I think we do, and I think we promote from within. I'm going to say.
Wait for it.
This is my bold prediction. This is my bold prediction.
I love this.
I say we promote Terry Robisky from receivers coach to offensive coordinator. That's what I think we do. You heard it here first, folks.
Receivers coach.
Yep. He was the running backs coach in Atlanta with Dave Caldwell his final year. Brought him down here with him, and now that he's the receivers coach, and he's coached every position. He's like 60. He's been in the league for a long time, been under some good coaches. Was an offensive coordinator for a year with somebody. I can't remember who.
He's a Jags coach right now?
He's a Jags running back coach.
Running back coach. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you said receiver coach.
No, he is the Jags.
McCardell.
Jags running back coach right now. He was the receivers coach in Atlanta in like 2014 when Dave Caldwell was there.
I have no problem with that.
I think these guys are on 1-year deals anyways. Like,
no, absolutely.
You had a pretty interesting hypothesis on everything, and I had never thought about this, about Shad Khan and like what he might be doing. It's a little conspiracy theorist, but
as I get older, the more that's coming out.
I'd like you to share with
Was this
the
as
fans.
we were watching the Clemson game?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's the Trevor Lawrence thing, man.
Yes,
I mean, honestly, at this point, like every decision that's been made has been the opposite of what people thought was going to be made. You know, hey, we're going to get rid of TC, DC, and Marone because that's what what Shad Khan said into last year. Like, we need results. We didn't get results, and all they got rid of was Tom Coughlin, which is kind of like the control guy. So they got rid of him, but they kept everybody else. We haven't got rid of Wash, and now that Filippo decides to leave, we didn't get rid of him either. He decided to leave. I think that's evident. And I think Khan's like, you know what? If we go 3 and whatever or 4 and whatever, we got a lot of draft picks next year. We get Trevor Lawrence, and that's franchise changing.
I agree 100%. I think both Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, you even said earlier, you think that this national championship game is one of the best quarterback
I think it is. I mean, it's the best 2 quarterbacks that have ever played in a national championship game. I mean, without a doubt.
I mean, I'm trying to think back. I mean,
I've got like a 15-ish year history in my head.
Yeah,
and I can't think of another one that was even close to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I mean, this is a pretty solid won. I mean, you could have argued. I think did Mariota and Winston play against each other at one point? And that's fizzled out. But I mean, that was one that you could have projected.
But it was a national championship.
Yeah, was it the semifinals?
Yeah, it was in semis.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, these are two good quarterbacks. They're franchise changing. Bengals obviously going to go with Burrow, and then 2021, it's going to be up for grabs for Trevor Lawrence. So.
It all goes back to Khan being a smart dude. Like everybody likes to play the armchair quarterback or the armchair GM or owner. Dude, that guy had nothing and is pretty close to the Forbes top 100 richest people in the world. Like you don't do that without making the right decisions. And I don't think he wants to take the team to London permanently. Maybe more games, but dude, he's got too much infrastructure, too much money invested here, too good of a deal with the mayor, like, and the taxpayers. All that being said, like, he's not going to make these bad decisions, which we all agree are not good decisions for this coming year, unless he's got a longer-term plan, which he does. And I honestly think that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, every move he seems to be counterintuitive. I agree with you there, and so I'm bought in.
You know what the one thing that's going to mess that up is? Minshew mania.
Yeah. Minshew is
that kid coming in
and doing what he did, man.
Yeah. He'll get us like the 12th pick and we'll have to like trade up 3 picks to get who we want. I mean, and I hope it happens because I love watching them, but like that's like the flyer. Like
look, I've watched bad football for years. Been a Jags fan my entire life, born a Jags fan in Jacksonville. I've watched a lot of bad football. I'm okay with buying into Minshew mania. If it lasts 2 years, 3 years, and he ends up being not good, at least we had fun. You know, at least
I
obviously I want to win, but like if we're not gonna win, like we haven't been, at least give us a fun quarterback that we can watch and follow on their camping RV trips and things like that.
Shooting ducks.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
it
for
free.
I love it.
It's gotta be for free, which is great too.
Dude.
I mean, honestly, next season, like. I would like I heard a tweet earlier, and I'll have to give credit to 1010XL because it was a tweet on their show that said that if Foles retires this year, we should put him in the ring of Jaguars. And I was like, dude, yes. Like Foles, take the money, retire, let Minshew run it out next season. Whatever happens, happens, and we'll get Lawrence and build from there. Like that'd be a good season, right?
Yeah, I mean, him retiring is not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
That would be him just turning down money.
And I honestly think that he has the chance to still be a great quarterback for us, but
no,
that would be a great thing if it did. Like that would be ideal.
I say we ship him back to Philly. We give them a
second, third round pick
to take the contract on, and we just roll with our first round picks.
That'd be pretty crazy too.
Take them back. You can have them. Honestly, just take them. We won't pay him. We'll give you anything you want. Just take him back. Just get him out of here. So he's bad juju.
So you do not think that he has any chance to be a good quarterback next year?
I don't know.
To be like
Jaguars team's no good. They don't have any offense. I mean, we've said since the beginning of man time that Foles needs to have a good team around him. He needs to have the number one tight end. He needs to have the number one offensive line. He needs to have 3 good receivers.
We're gonna get Hooper from Atlanta. That fixes the tight end.
Yeah,
we're going to draft well. We're going to switch to a 3-4. All our problems are fixed, man.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Okay, with all that being said, you don't think there's any chance that Foles can come in, win the job, and take us to the playoffs?
If anybody can do it, it's Foles because he's used to being counted out in the backup and the dark horse and all that. But I don't see it happening, no.
I just think that people are like counting him out like way too early.
I get your point that he has only played 2 games or whatever it is. And
I almost don't want it to happen, but I think there's a strong chance it will.
I've seen enough. I know the type of player that Foles is, and I'm basing it off of his history with other teams.
True.
You know, I'm not just basing it off of – everyone's always like, oh, he's only played 2 games here. No, we've seen him fail at the Chiefs. We've seen him fail with the Eagles. We've seen him fail with no team around him, and he came down to Jacksonville in that exact situation. He's never been good as a starter, ever. Ever. Even when he was a starter for the Eagles, he wasn't good. He had to be the backup. Had to come in the backup. Even his record-breaking year, he came in for Vic when Vic got hurt at the beginning of the year. He's never gone into the year as the starter and been productive. And the streak continues. And he's 31 years old. And we're going to think that now it's going to click. And now it's going to happen. It's not. It's not. And it's okay.
He's got one more chance.
Yeah, he does. We'll see. You kind of mentioned switching to a 3-4 next year. We're going to talk about that, I think, in a later podcast.
Yeah, that takes that's probably a whole podcast.
Yeah,
and draft talk mixed in with it.
We're going to talk about that probably on the next one. So we're not going to glaze over that, just for whatever reason. It's because we want to spend a whole podcast talking about that. We wanted to talk this podcast, and we asked on Twitter about who you want to win the Super Bowl. And we put on Twitter, who do you want to win the Super Bowl? And
well, before Jason reads that while he's pulling it up, I wanted the Saints to win. Then I wanted the Ravens to win. So I'm like, kiss of death.
So where are you at? Seriously, like where are you at with it now?
Kiss of death. So at this point, based on the poll, read off the choices.
The choices are the Chiefs, Titans, Packers, and 49ers. And easy question, who do you win the Super Bowl? And with almost 50% of the vote, which is very surprising to me, the Kansas City Chiefs took 46% of the vote.
Why is that surprising to you?
Because
Patrick Mahomes is like the most electric quarterback to ever play the game.
But
wouldn't you want somebody fun to watch to like win it? They're down 24-0 and scored 40 unanswered points.
Okay, I think the 49ers are the most fun team to watch.
Okay, because you're a X's and O's guys, and defense.
And I
wins
love what Kyle
championships,
Shanahan's doing with his
Bosa is like the best
offense.
rookie to ever play the position.
Look, I think the Jags and the 49ers are very, very similar in a lot of ways. I think they both have taken like 4 defensive linemen in the first round out of the last 5 years.
It's old school football, but with somebody on the personnel side that picks the right players,
Yeah.
and an offensive coordinator that runs a West Coast offense, kinda, but with twists.
Yeah, I love it.
They got the right people.
I love it. I love the offense. I love the 49ers offense. I love how they use a fullback. I love how they use multiple tight ends and shifts and all that stuff. I love it.
Dude, we all love Josh Allen. Like, he was an amazing draft pick, had an amazing season. Bosa is an absolute god at his position.
He played more snaps and had less sacks.
There's a reason he played more snaps, because he dominated. He took over that game.
Well, and
man.
he didn't have Ngakoue in front of him, although they do have a good line, a good D line, no doubt about that.
So you can't tell me you don't think Bosa is an amazing, amazing, amazing football player.
No, he is.
Okay.
I don't know if he's better than Josh Allen. I think they might.
I didn't say he was better. I said this season.
Yeah. Well, let's get to your comments and what you said. Basically, we said, tell us who you think should win the Super Bowl, and most people kind of went with the angle of Mercedes Lewis and how they wanted to side with him because he was an ex-Jag and he wants to win a Super Bowl.
What's this who they think is going to win, or who they want to win?
Who they want to win.
Okay.
Sir Adam DeMoy, and he's at Adam DeMoy, says 49ers, so Richard Sherman gets a better memory than the INT in the Seattle Patriots Super Bowl.
Dude, he's kind of a DB, man. Like, not a defensive
defensive
player.
back?
No.
Or
like something I don't want to say on a family-friendly podcast.
Gotcha.
I don't want that guy to have a good memory, ever.
Yeah, I know. I don't get the love for Richard Sherman from Sir Adam DeMoy, but maybe he knows him or knows him.
He is a sir, though, so he's been knighted, so maybe I shouldn't be speaking against Adam
true.
like that.
The Kenny, and he's at KNNTHP3, said, I'd like to see Andy Reid win one.
Now, that I can get behind. Andy Reid's a good dude. He's gotten a lot of teams almost there. I wish the Jags had him as their head coach, man. Honestly, we had the chance to get him, and we didn't get him.
I don't care for Andy Reid that much. He's never shown he can win. I kind of like the narrative that he can't win the big game, and I kind of liked that. And I don't know.
It's his MO, he owns that.
Yeah, he just can't. He gets his teams. They lead the team in offense. They lead the league in offense. They're number 1 seed, and they just flail in the playoffs every year. He's known for that. So yeah. I kind of like to see that keep going. It's kind of like the Florida State baseball team. I love seeing that guy get so close and not winning.
It's
I
20 years.
I hate it for the guy. I really do hate it for the guy, but it's it becomes a funny meme almost, and I just like to see that kind of stuff.
What did Andy Reid do to you?
Nothing. I just I
got
got
a bad
nothing.
guy.
Yeah, I know.
The only reason I don't want KC to win, nothing to do with Andy Reid. It's the whole Hill thing. The fact that guy's still playing football right now.
That's true. You have been pretty hard line about Tyreek Hill for a while.
Everybody should.
Yeah.
Okay, so what, he got off on, it was obvious the guy is a completely bad person, and he's still playing, so I don't want them to win.
Okay. Josh Went, and he's at Josh Went 19, says, get one for Mercedes. And there's a bunch of Mercedes comments in here. And, yeah, go over Mercedes. That'd be cool.
I would have no problem with Green Bay winning. I don't think they're going to, but really, we got to root for Rodgers if you're rooting for Mercedes. That was the problem.
I got no problem with that, but I get it. I really do. I get it. I get where people are coming from.
For sure.
We're going to get more to your Twitter questions in a second. We're going to take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors. They pay the bills.
My bookie, Costa Rica, right?
I'm not sure, honestly. I can't even keep up with it anymore. But we got to let the sponsors get their word in. How else are we going to pay for these beautiful Matt Jones jerseys in the background?
Exactly.
If we
those are hard to find.
Absolutely. Before we get to break, though, I do want to tease a trivia question.
Ooh, I love trivia questions I have no idea about because I do so well on them.
You're not going to do well on this one.
I'm gonna nail
I
this
asked
one.
a trivia question on Twitter like last week, and Jags Twitter. I think they cheated, even though I said no cheating, because people just get flying in with the correct answer.
Well, the good thing is I pay no attention to Twitter whatsoever, so I have no idea.
No,
what
I didn't
you're
ask
talking
this question. This is a fresh one.
about. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so the Jaguars, I was going through their draft and players they've drafted. The number one receiver as far as receiving yards that the Jaguars have drafted
Have drafted is the key word.
drafted number one, Allen Robinson. I think that would be an easy. You would get to that eventually.
Sure.
I think he has like 4,000 career receiving yards. The trivia question is, who's number two? Who is number two receiving yards in a career or with the Jaguars that was drafted by Jacksonville?
It's gonna be a lot less than 4,000.
It is a lot less.
And I think
I'll give you a hint. It's 29,000. I think
2,900.
29. No, it's 29,000 yards. No, yeah, 2,900, 990 yards. So that's your hint. Chew on that while we go on break.
It's a good question.
If you're listening, chew on that, and think. You might have to think.
I'm noodling right now.
Yeah. So check it out. Let me know what you come up with after the break. Hang tight, and we'll be right back. All right, and welcome back to another Jags podcast, episode 100 and something. 100 and change.
100 and change.
And I'm here with Joey tonight. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at Another Jags Pod. If you haven't done that yet, shame on you. Instagram, YouTube, just search Another Jags Pod will come up. We teased a question at the break. Who is the Jaguars' second leading receiver in yards that they drafted? Number 1's Allen Robinson. Who's number 2?
Jason honestly drove a chalk line or draw a chalk line around my phone. I didn't touch it.
No, he did not cheat.
Did not look this up. No guessing whatsoever. I'm not positive we drafted one of the guys, but I have 2 guesses. So I'm going to go with Allen Hurns or Marquise Lee.
Okay, Allen Hurns was an undrafted free agent, so not drafted.
That was the one I didn't think we would know if we drafted or not.
And Marquise Lee is incorrect.
Dang.
I'll start with third, and I'll work up to
Mike Sims
second.
Walker.
Number 3, Maurice Jones-Drew. With 2,900.
That's a trick question.
2,939 or something.
We're going to go with Fournette.
With 2,990. Cecil Shorts.
So I was right before the break. Dang
actually
it.
mentioned Cecil Shorts, and I was like, oh, dang, that was pretty good there,
Dude,
Joey. But
you had a poker face,
but
man, because you did not even flinch when I said that.
No, I couldn't. I was shocked.
Dude, he balled out for a year and a half.
I was shocked. It was funny. He actually was pretty close to beating Allen Robinson's career Jaguar receiving yards, but Allen Robinson beat him by a little bit. So, number 2, Cecil Shorts III from Mount Union College.
How sad is that trivia question?
Isn't that sad? And a running back is number 3.
Then Fournette will probably be number 4
Yeah,
soon.
it probably will be eventually. So, and Blackman's up there. Like, he's up there. Like,
He had a hell of a year.
He did.
Actually, like a 3/4 of a year.
Oh, so yeah,
Man, good question.
yeah,
I like
that was a good one. We'll put that up on Twitter in a couple days. Let's see how Jags Twitter can get with that. But let's get back to more of what you guys are talking about on Twitter. We wanted to see who you guys were rooting for. The question was, who do you want to win the Super Bowl? Tell us why. And most of you said Maurice Jones-Drew. Because of Marseilles Lewis, I'm sorry. Chris Timmerman says, I'm not sure what ABTTT means, but he says, don't care whatsoever as long as the Titans aren't hoisting the Lombardi trophy. And this got us into a little interesting debate earlier.
It did prior to, right?
Not debate, but conversation, yeah.
Like randomly, not even about the poll.
Yeah, because people on, and I apologize for this Aaron Rodgers gif that's playing on loop here on the YouTube channel.
Or GIF.
We'll just slide past that. We were talking, like, people on Jaguars Twitter were, like, vehemently against rooting for the Titans.
Which we kind of get.
I get it
Yes.
100%. Like,
Except for, say it.
I am a big Derrick Henry fan.
And I am a giant Derrick Henry fan.
Yeah, look.
How can you not be?
Look, we both take a lot of pride in our hometown.
Yes.
And
we'll throw Yulee into the
absolutely
district.
And I coached for a number of years, and there's kids I coached that went to schools all over the state and all over the country, and they're playing some are playing in the NFL for random teams, and I guarantee you, I root for the Jaguars number 1, but a close number 2 is all the kids that I've coached, or I watched in high school, or I coached against in high school,
Or from the area.
And Derrick Henry falls into that category for me.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, trust me, everybody gets the Titans hate. Nobody dislikes the Titans as much as we do. But the reason the Titans are winning is because of a homegrown boy.
Yeah.
You can't knock that. And, I mean, literally, like, he's putting the entire team on his shoulders. Okay, how about a trivia question? How many running backs have rushed for more than 180 yards in 3 straight games in the NFL history?
0. Besides Derrick Henry.
1. Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, but think about that. Like, if that wasn't the lead into the question,
no, you're right.
You would think like Jim Brown or
I would think no one had done it. Honestly,
that's insane.
That's a remarkable feat.
Like, I don't think enough people are giving him credit for the year he's had this year. It's like, it's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, he's literally defeating teams pretty much on his own. So, dude, if they win the Super Bowl and it's on his shoulders, I will be happy about that.
I really don't want them to win the Super Bowl. I want Derrick Henry to re-sign somewhere else and win a Super Bowl. That's what I want. I can't bring myself to root for the Titans, but I'm not rooting against Derrick Henry. Let me just put it that way. And I know fans are going to get pissed about that, but you got to understand, like, we know these kids and we saw them grow up, and it's
plus it's an AFC South team we beat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's got to say something.
Even though Mariota was the quarterback,
still, and it's not like it's the Titans of old. Vrabel, like, you got to appreciate what that guy's coming in and doing. I mean, he took down the evil empire Patriots based on like stuff he learned from Belichick. I mean, they're a pretty good story this year, man. And as a diehard Jags fan, I'm willing to root for them. So I'll say it out loud.
Yeah, I'm not willing to go there. I'm not willing to go there because I do have a strong disdain for the Titans. I really hate the Colts. I dislike the Colts more than any other team in the league.
And I would agree. Or the Patriots.
I don't know why Jags fans. I understand that Titans fans have treated the Jags fans poorly over the years.
Dude, it comes back to the 90s when
I get that.
The last drive.
You're right.
I mean, that's where it comes from.
Yeah. I mean, that you're right. But it's just something about the Colts, man. I just do not like the Colts whatsoever. So, all right, let's move on to more of your Twitter comments. Josh, and he's at J Prowl, says, I want Mercedes to get himself a ring. Duval till we die. Go, Pat, go. Cold Take Chris, and he's at Misto Christopho. Yeah, he's just posts a GIF of Aaron Rodgers just celebrating.
It's a heck of a name, Misto Christopho.
He
deserves that GIF just solely on his name.
He's been on a little Twitter rampage. He used to do some work for Locked On Jaguars.
Oh.
I actually met him in Denver when I went to the Broncos game this year.
Okay, so he's apparently
Super nice guy.
Green Bay fan, and
apparently he is roots for everyone.
You want to talk about like chip on your shoulder, like underrated, under the radar. Like Green Bay was what 13-3 regular season, something close to that.
Yeah, and
nobody mentioned them for the most part all year. And dude, they have a Hall of Fame quarterback, man.
Yeah.
They have a young running back who lit up the league this year, and they have a pretty solid defense. I mean, I wouldn't want to play them.
Their receivers get open and catch everything, and they're hard to cover. And
I mean, they're a solid team that nobody's talked about. So
yeah. Keith Caparelli, and he's at Keith Caparelli, says, I wanted to say the Chiefs because of Andy Reid, but I got to go with Green Bay. I want to see Rodgers get another ring and Mercedes get his first. Plus, my uncle and cousin are diehard Packers fans. That's as good as a reason as you could have right there.
I mean, honestly, for me, like, it makes me like throw up in my own mouth more to root for the Packers than it does the Titans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of hate.
Dude, he looks like a used car salesman.
Yeah,
and his family doesn't even like him. How can everybody else like him?
Yeah, I was going to say, he's another DB guy.
Yes,
another
he
DB
is.
guy, for sure.
Like, I cannot root for the Packers.
Max Cohen, he's at mcohen3263, says, if anyone votes Titans, please kindly block them.
Well, I guess I'm blocked from
Twitter.
Twitter.
I don't think I wouldn't have voted. I voted 49ers on my.
Well, let's dive into that.
Look, I like the 49ers.
Because I actually agree with you on this.
I like the 49ers. Dude, they are what the Jaguars should be. They are what the Jaguars should be. When you look at a team like the 49ers, they're running that 3-4 defense. They got first-rounders everywhere. I'm pretty sure they have 5 first-round picks on the defensive line. D. Ford, Armstead, DeForest Buckner, Solomon Thomas, and Bosa.
Those are all over the past 3 years.
Right? I think it's over the last four or 5 years.
And if you can't root for Bosa, man, then you are not a football fan because that guy is the definition of, like, if you look up football in the dictionary, there's a picture of him, like, flexing and, like, talking trash to the other team. That guy is a beast.
5 first-round picks on the defensive line.
That's just the defense.
Defensive line.
Smart enough to trade for Garoppolo.
Yeah.
You got Shanahan, who runs a West Coast offense.
Yeah. Well, again,
kind of. Tweaks it to where people don't know what he's doing still and has a run game that's not West Coast. I mean, I agree. San Fran.
Like I said, they're like us. Dude, they brought in another team's former backup quarterback. They paid Garoppolo a lot of money on it when he was unproven. His contract was $130 million.
And they won 4 games last year when he got hurt.
He won 4 games. He was been hurt over and over again. He only played a little bit with the Patriots. I'm telling you, man, we could be them next year. Hopefully,
and they're a fun team to root for.
Alexander Lux, and he's at Alexander Lux, says, who TF voted for the Titans?
I love the Dumb and Dumber gif.
Yeah, Dumb and Dumber gif's good. Chandler Burger, and he's at Burger King 29, says, I want to choose the anyone but the Titans option, but I can't find it.
Man, guys, are you football fans or are you just like...
I get it, though. I get it.
But if you're a football fan, you've got a quarterback that's reinvented himself and through the month of December was the highest rated quarterback in the entire football league. You've got a running back from Jacksonville that has stiff-armed everybody in the league at this point, I think. I mean, guys, at this point, the Jags aren't playing. I get that. We can't root for the Jags. I'm rooting for football at this point.
Yeah, we can't root for the Titans, though.
But can you remember the Titans?
You can't have them win a Super Bowl because right now we're both in the haven't won a Super Bowl category.
Agreed.
And we don't want them to get there before we do.
Agreed.
That's easy.
All right,
easy
fair enough.
pickings.
I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. A Rose and Jax, and she's at Amy Rose Jax, says Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes deserves it. Does he deserve it, though? I mean, what has he done to deserve it? He's been in State Farm commercials. I mean, I guess that's cool, but I mean...
I think his girlfriend deserves it. Have you seen a better football fan on the face of the planet?
Did
you see her losing her mind in that last game when
I
they
don't
came
get
back?
so caught up with the personal family lives of these football players as much
I
as
do.
you do.
I think that the whole side story, backstory, front story, everything comes into play at this point when I can't root for the Jaguars, man. I have to look for other things to be pumped about. Dude, look up the videos of her during the game when they started coming back from a 24-point deficit. Dude, like there is not another chick backing up a dude better than she is at this point, ever.
You know, I just thought of, you know who would be really, like, killing us right now about those Titans talk? You know who really hates the Titans?
James McDonald.
James.
He would be.
James hates the Titans. He would be raking us over coals right now if he
He
was
would.
here. He would be.
But
So,
he is a Derrick Henry fan as well, and I know that for a fact. So
there
he
you
can
go.
appreciate that side of it at least.
Heather Adams, and she's at SocialFly1229, says, I want to see Mercedes Lewis get his shot.
Honestly, I'm kind of like amazed by the Mercedes Lewis like love.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, yeah, he was like a diehard Jag. He was here for a long time, but he had like one good year.
I mean, he didn't have one good year. Let's calm down with all that. He had a good career here.
He had one good year.
No. He made the Pro Bowl.
1 year.
Yeah, but he was good. I mean, he was good every
I didn't say
year.
he wasn't good.
You said he had
every
one good year. He was good a lot of years.
Okay, he had one like above.
He had one Pro Bowl year is what you meant.
Yes.
Yes, he did have one Pro Bowl year. That's fact.
When everybody's going to root for the Packers.
He was good. We had this whole debate in the offseason about should he be in the Ring of Honor. Remember that?
Based on his like longevity and
yes. Based on games
Yes,
played, he
based on
should
that.
have been.
But I'm not going to root for the Packers because he used to be a Jaguar.
Yeah, me neither. But I get it, though.
I disagree, guys. Sorry. Flame me for it. Tweet it.
I get it. I get all these comments.
I don't. Like, I love Mercedes Lewis, but I'm not going to root for the Packers.
Well, you just hate the Packers.
Yeah.
That's how people feel about the Titans.
At least they're in our division and we beat them. If they win the Super Bowl, we can say we beat the Super Bowl champions.
They're
Therefore,
not winning the Super Bowl. They're going to lose to the Chiefs.
I think it's pretty impressive that a couple teams from the AFC South made it to the second round and moved on.
Yeah.
So maybe we're not as bad as a division as everybody says we are.
I have a question for fans here, and we're into it about 38 minutes, so this is toward the end, so we'll see. Do the people who root for conference pride, so the people that are chanting SEC, even ACC's even got a little conference pride nowadays, especially when it comes to basketball.
Okay, there you go. Nice qualifier.
Do you have conference pride in the AFC South?
I mean, I didn't until the fact that the playoffs have shown that, hey, maybe we weren't as bad as everybody said we were. I mean, you look at the NFC and you got teams that are like 13, like 4 teams at 13 and change, and you're like, dang, man, that's a good conference. But obviously that doesn't translate into smash mouth football. I think they're more finesse, we're more smash mouth, and kind of played out a little bit.
I think the Titans, Derrick Henry just got hot at the right time.
Dude, he's been hot for 3 months, and it's not just about.
But I think that's all it is, though. And their defense is good.
Yes, exactly. Derrick Henry's not stopping anybody's offense.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
but they are holding the ball
They're not
for a
on
long
the field
time.
long enough. I get it, but
I just can't imagine after seeing the games we saw this weekend. I can't imagine seeing the Titans.
you pretty much realize that
beating the
you're
Chiefs.
guaranteeing that the Titans are winning the Super Bowl at this point, right?
The Chiefs went down 21-0 and then ended up throttling.
Dude, the Chiefs have 0 run defense and 0 defense overall.
No, they're okay. They're okay. The Clemson Tigers have scored, and they have made it a ball game now, 25-28.
Which means we're about wrapped up with this podcast.
It's getting it's getting there for sure. This is a pretty good one.
Well, how about this since you segued to that? Would you prefer Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow if you could have them
God, that's a good
both
question.
next year? Let's put it that way, because we know we're not getting anybody this year.
I like Trevor Lawrence. I think he's bigger than Burrow, I believe. I think Trevor Lawrence is like 6'7"
He's taller.
or 6'6".
Let's just call him Sunshine.
Burrow's like a little shorter. Burrow's got the better arm, it seems like, barely, but Trevor Lawrence seems like the better athlete.
I think Burrow's got more grit.
Burrow is older as well. You can't forget that. He's had,
It's a hard choice, right?
I mean, think about it. Burrow is he 2 years older than Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, he's like 28.
So he's not 28. He's a senior. He's a true senior.
Yeah, a true senior.
Imagine Lawrence in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, Lawrence won't be in college football in 2 years. If he were, he would be absolutely the best player to ever play college football. Probably.
Especially
with the recruiting classes.
I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with either, but
I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
I agree.
There's something about Trevor Lawrence I like.
It took you longer to get to that than I thought it would.
No, it's a tough call.
He's like Joe Montana that can run. I meant Dan Marino that can run. Dude, the guy makes...
I would say he's more like a Matt Ryan who can run. I think that would be...
Matt Ryan?
Yeah, like he has good arm, makes good reads.
Matty Ice?
Matty Ice, but can run.
Okay.
Can run. How about McCam Newton that can throw? I mean, what do you want? I mean, he can go either way there.
He don't run like Cam.
He don't run like Cam, no. He doesn't. But he runs, though.
It's a tough decision either way.
Burrow's good, too, though. But
back to the point, you're watching two of the best ever.
That's true.
Well, you guys are, because we're not. Because we're talking about it.
Yeah, that's true. But we are going to probably wrap this up soon. And
what do we got left Twitter-wise? Anything? So ending comments then? Like, what's your take at this point of the Jaguars? The offseason? Let's just
I genuinely think that Khan is setting this team up to survive for another year. In so many aspects.
Anybody can disagree with that.
And coaching staff and GM and quarterback, even in draft picks, where they're setting up their draft picks. I could see, would it really surprise anybody if they trade back and accumulate picks next year, clean house, bring in everyone new, and just re-roll the team next year? I can see it happening. So I hope not. I'm a fan. I would like to see wins. I'm a big believer in Minshew. I will always root for Minshew. He's the type of guy I love to watch, but the tea leaves aren't pointing that direction.
I think being a fan, though, that maybe should be our next Twitter question is that do you want to go the coach route of like Marone, who knows this is his last year, win at all costs, and make decisions based on that, or do you want to make decisions for the Jaguars' future?
Yeah, look, you've seen coaches in the past on their last leg and their last hot seat year pull it together and do well. We can hope that for Marone, but more often than not, they end up getting fired.
Yeah, I'm almost to the point where I hope we have a bad year next year.
I just hate.
I'm not rooting for that. If they win
that.
games, I'm not going to be like that guy. It's like, oh, they ruined their draft picks. I mean, I want Minshew to do well, but if they don't do well, I think that there's a plan in place for them to do well the season after, and I'm okay with that. It's not like a complete rebuild or tear down. It's like a systematic, scheduled, planned idea.
Retooling.
I like that. Retooling's good.
Yeah. What about you? Any? That's your thought there.
That's kind of my thought. I mean, like I'm going into next season. Like I'm excited about the draft talk. As a Jags fan, you kind of got to be at this point.
Yeah.
We have lots of picks, and that's going to be really fun to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But like next season, it's kind of like it's like I'm going to take the good for the good. I expect the bad. Whatever happens, happens, and just looking forward.
At least we have Minshew and some draft picks.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Just it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to put it. I think a good way to end it.
Yeah.
As well. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it. We will be back in the following weeks with some talk about the 3-4 defense. It really deserves its own podcast because It's not that complicated. At the same time, it is really complicated.
And honestly, I need to do a lot of research.
It's I think we can kind of break it down in layman's terms on what it's going to look like. There's a lot of issues that presents this team with switching to a 3-4. I mean, Josh Allen and Yannick Ngakoue
Are two pieces and like the only two pieces we have.
but they would both
much.
be in the 3-4. What people don't understand is they would both be the same position. They would be that weak side outside linebacker.
Yeah.
You could move Ngakoue in, but now you're asking him to play against the run a lot, and he has shown he can't do that at all. Does that factor into them not re-signing Ngakoue? Maybe, because Josh Allen plays this position. Maybe. Who knows? I mean, again, there's a lot that goes into it. Even as far as the linebackers go. I mean, Miles Jack's going to be asked to do something that he's never been asked to do before, and it could be interesting.
And you're going to be expecting a lot out of Taven Bryan.
Absolutely.
If we go that route.
Those interior defensive linemen are asked to do a lot in a 3-4 scheme. There's a reason why I want to say the only team that runs a 3-4 that's left in the playoffs
right? Oh, not in the playoffs,
is the 49ers. And like I said, they have 5 D linemen in the first round that were drafted. So they prioritized that position.
Obviously planned for that.
Where we haven't. We maybe have, if Calais might be able to get Darius back on a cheap deal. I think that's a big possibility, honestly.
You're actually kind of getting into this a lot more than you thought.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's pin that there.
You can't help yourself. I know.
I
get it.
Let's pin that there. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to support the sponsors that we had tonight. We love them. They pay for the Matt Jones jersey on the wall, so appreciate them. Support them. Use promo code Another Jags Pod if that's how it is.
If you keep doing that, we might have a Steve Berline jersey up there in no time at all.
Maybe we'll just go all retro. Maybe just all retro jerseys.
Retro.
Get rid of that Reddick jersey in the back.
Like 2 years or less jerseys.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week. And as always, go Jags.